Hello guys, this is the pre-market analysis of 25th of May, and today the market, as we all know, is revolving around only one thing, that is the US-Iran peace negotiation. But if we compare it with the last week and whatever we have seen in the last 1 month, this negotiation, this discussions and peace talks and everything, the sentiment as of now have improved significantly, right? If you look at the present scenario, the sentiment have changed, and the biggest trigger behind this positivity, if you see, that's the oil is falling below 100. That is a very good positive. That is psychological positive also. And there is an expectation that there will be a 60-day ceasefire immediately. And the Strait of Hormuz is gradually opening. And yesterday also around 35 tankers have passed through the Strait of Hormuz. And FII selling is still there, but FII selling pressure, if you see, it's actually reducing. So let's try to understand all these and we will see what we need to do in today's market. So mostly it will be kind of buy on dip market, but again, you will have to look at the trigger, look at the headlines and everything, and accordingly we will have to trade. So if nothing is happening, against our expectation, it could be buy on dip, and we are looking for a breakout of 24,000 also. So otherwise, we always have a clear view, right? I used to tell in the beginning itself, it's sell on rise, it's sell on rise or buy on dip. So today also, it could be like a 75% I take a side on buy on dips, but if we see something, a bigger candle on the downside or any kind of major sell-off, then we'll also have to look at the oil price and then the global headlines, and then we will have to shift our view also. Okay, so last Thursday, and in fact I discussed in Friday pre-market analysis, there are multiple Middle Eastern medias have reported that the US-Iran deal could happen on Friday. And because of that, we have seen a gap up, and after that, Nifty have moved and crossed 23,800 levels also. And there were Pakistan mediation and Pakistan general also traveled to Iran. So everyone is expecting, even during the market time, the deal could have came. And after that, Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State, that actually created some kind of confusion. See, what he said is some progress had been made, but situation is still fractured. And Pakistan mediators may have to go for multiple visits to finalize this. So what the market interpreted is there is no clarity on this agreement so far. But the thing is that the positive is that the hope of the deal that is still alive, right? And if you look at the market reaction, there was a hope for weekend agreement, and Nifty crossed 23,800 and went to 23,850 also. And then, good thing is that it closed about 23,700, slightly below 800. And Nifty is up by around 0.4%. Sensex also, mid cap also did very well, more than 1% up. And IT sector was doing very good, and otherwise also that is mainly because of rupee depreciation, and I have told you the reason. And IT stocks have rallied more than 4%. Why? Because export, related sectors will benefit more when rupee is falling, because when you convert the income, you'll be earning more, your profitability will be high. So that is why IT was doing well. And if you look at institutional data, FIAs, last day also they sold, but compared to what we have seen, 9,000, 8,000, 7,000 crores, this is around 4,500 crore. And if you look at the entire week, since there were three buying session also, you see it's around 3,500 crore is what they have sold in the entire week. So that is why I told you FIA selling is there, but if you look at the weekly basis, it's 3,500 crore only. But on a daily basis, we have seen 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 9,000 crores that they are selling even in the month of May. If you look at the first half of May, it was completely sell off, right? Almost 20,000 crore has been sold in the first half of May by 15th itself. But this last week, comparatively, has been much better. They sold, but it's weekly basis, it's around 3,500 only. So that's something which is looking very good. And if you look at DIA's weekly net buying, so on one side, FIA's net selling is 3,500 crore, but DIA's last week, if you see what they bought, every day they bought, except one day they sold, and it's 17,000 crore, which is more than five times. Right, it's five times of this. So if you look at two institutional investors, DIA is domestic and the foreign. So foreigners have sold for X, means the here it's bought for 5X. So that's a huge buying, which you can see, and that's actually supporting the market. So the market is showing that structural positivity and where FII's money is going. This is a trend and that's going in the AI themes, right? Right now, we are not dominating in that area. Right now, momentum is in the AI, and I've already discussed related to this, and I've done a video. There is nothing abnormal in that because of rupee depreciation, because of our market is not giving enough return at this moment, and where the global momentum is now AI, right? So FII's money is going there, and it can come back because at one point that will also get stagnated. Okay, now again, if you look at US market, the Pakistani mediators are continuing discussion with Iran. So basically, this differences in the peace proposal may be resolved, and that actually created fresh positive optimism. And because of that itself, if you look at US closing, Dow Jones it's around 0.6% up, S&P 0.37% up, Nasdaq 0.2% up. VIX there is no major change. But what is more important is the oil price. WTI is below 100, which is 97. Brent crude is 104. I'll have to check current data also. Okay, it's I think last day data, what I've got. So, and after that, the weekend update. You see, this is a major positive trigger. Trump have posted that he had discussion with various Middle Eastern countries heads regarding this peace agreement. And the most important line that he said is the agreement is largely negotiated and it's subject to finalization. So what I understand from that is it's this is a word I'm just quoting Trump itself, right? It's largely negotiated. That means it's a kind of positive aspect only. So everything is almost negotiated and finalized, and it's subject to finalization. The ultimate decision is what matters now. So it's all done. That means from both sides, it's clearly negotiated and it's subject to finalization. So it's just a formality only. This is what I understand as of now. And between US and Iran and various some other countries are also definitely involved in this as a stakeholder. So the details may be released shortly. So again, it's a strong positive statement directly from Trump. So the possible deal structure, that is what now the market is looking at. So firstly, it could be ceasefire. It could be a 60-day ceasefire. That is very good for the if that is coming, and then it is again very good for the market. And then Strait of Hormuz is opening. So Iran is expected to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and remove the mines and the shipping restrictions and the toll systems and everything. So it could be again back to normal. That is again very good. So the energy crisis may come down. So we are also seeing now everyday petrol prices are increasing in our pump also. Every night you are seeing a hike. And then the US concession also. So US is expected to remove the naval blockade and also allowing Iran to export oil again, remove some sanctions also. And the frozen assets, some Iranian assets are frozen and that may also be released. So overall, if you look at it, there is a strong positive sentiment, but still there is no discussion on nuclear things and all. So that I'm not sure about this. At least these four is what the market is looking at this point of time, and that is what the part of the agreement also, as per various report. And Middle Eastern market, if you see, because of all these development, market opened on Sunday and all rallied above 1%, 2%. Qatar index, in fact, I've seen 3.2%, but still a confusion exists. That is related to the nuclear stockpile, Iran's enriched nuclear stockpile. And US media have reported that, New York Times and Axios have reported Iran agreed to give up enriched stockpile. But Iranian media reported that there is no such agreement and completely denied that. So see, in this context, when it comes to nuclear related thing, I don't think that Iran is going to give up, right? So they may not include that in the agreement also, and Iran may say that the peaceful use, like that is their stand before also. Now again, they'll take that stand. I don't think that they will give up at any cost. In case if that need to be given, there should be a permanent agreement that war-related compensation, and there is no further any kind of attack. That scenario only Iran will give up on this. Otherwise, I think this related to this US version is wrong. Iranian version would be more correct. And Trump also posted US drones bombing Iran image that actually created confusion again. And then again later he another in his another post, what he mentioned is there is no time pressure and there is no need to rush to the deal also. So he said that everything is almost finalized, and then the market have rallied taken for granted positivity, but now there is no time pressure. There is no need to rush for a deal, right? It just before he said that it's subject to finalization. Now you are saying that there is no need to rush for the deal. And he's also posting, the images of US drones, bombing Iran, that image. Then again, coming under speculation. What exactly Trump want, no one knows. So finally, what I want to tell you is still confusion. Hope definitely is there, but as long as the final deal is not signed, it's only about the hope and expectation. And it's very difficult scenario because it's Trump and we don't know when he'll take a U-turn also. But the massive positive development is in the last 24 hours, oil tankers, almost 33, 35 oil tankers have passed through Strait of Hormuz, and that's the highest number since its closure. And that shows some very good positivity. And that's a very good positive gesture from Iranian side also. And now if you look at WTI crude, it's below 92, which is really good. So it came to 92, and Brent is below 100, and that is 98.5. So that's a very important psychological point. When Brent UK oil, when it is coming below 100, that's a huge positive psychology for the market. And if you look at US futures also, it's mildly positive, around zero point 0.5 positive. And yeah, so these are the things that we can see here. So as long as for me, it's a buy on dip market, there is nothing to sell at this moment. The panic is over, the fear is over. Then if suddenly something comes, we'll have to switch our position. Otherwise, we are looking, we have a hope, we have expectation. It's a buy on dip market, even breakout market. So accordingly, you should be trading. I have good call position also. I have good put selling position also. For example, let me show you one trade that I have taken on last day. So I'll never lose in this trade. For example, this one, I took an entry at 151, and that is the lowest price yesterday. I took it at the morning itself. It is because of time decay only, that decay advantage I'll get in my selling positions. Okay. So if you see, I've bought in the opening itself, right? It's around this level I bought, and I sold something here at 225. So 150 I bought. I had around 2000 plus quantity. I sold here, and then rest of the quantity 325. I thought I'll trail it. It went to 240 also, and then again it was coming down. So what I'm going to lose? If I'm losing, I'm okay to give it at 100. So in case if I'm giving 100, that is 50 point, right? But I already got 75 point for almost 6 times the quantity. So this trade, even if this goes to zero, the buy price, as you can see here, that is 151 is the buy average. And when market closed, it was around 184. But now this is a time decay and everything. So even if this goes to zero, around 6 times of this I have booked at 225. So this is something which I'm trailing. I thought that will go to 300 on that day itself, because that was a kind of breakout which you got. So if you get a follow-up, it could have been 300 direct. That's where I plan to book that. But we didn't get that. And even if this goes to zero, but today I will be getting a good gap up and will be getting some good profit. Otherwise also, let me tell you how, if it is going against me and if it is going zero also, I have a very good put selling positions that I'll capture the time decay. And then otherwise, here, if it goes to zero, 6 times I've already booked a greater profit, right? That's around 1.4 lakhs I've already booked. Now, if it is going to zero, there is nothing to lose from this. And this is how you have to manage the trades. That is how the trailing stop loss is important. Partial booking is also very important. So we are looking for anyway gap up opening of minimum 100 points. So if there is a gap up, then why I need to bother about this? I'll again see that 220 mark. That is where I sold rest of the quantity yesterday. So otherwise, even if the point is, if not a gap up, even if it's going to zero, this trade that I've taken, I'm not going to lose. Why? 150 is the entry price, and that was yesterday's low. At the lowest level only I got it, right? And it went to 240 also, which is 100 points from there. I was looking for 300, and then I partially booked because of, and just small quantity I kept it. And Friday, normally I trade very less. So I don't keep scalping on Friday. Other days I keep scalping. Friday, I just take a positional trade and then I hold it. Okay. So again, any negative post by Trump, right? This can go to zero because tomorrow's expiry, because the time decay get affected, right? If you're not getting fast move, that will go to zero. But again, you will be getting fresh opportunities today. I'll be looking for, see, this trade is something which I have taken. It's the last day trade, and I have something in mind, right? Today is a fresh day. So if you're an option buyer and a scalper, it will be a fresh trade that you'll be taking. So any negative action by Iran also, market can drag. And tomorrow's monthly expiry, that also adjustment will be there. So the manipulation, the sharp moves, a dip and adjustments of premium, inflating put premium and then deflating put premium, deflating the call premium, and all these drama you will see today and tomorrow, mostly tomorrow. And if you look at put additions, 7% call, not major call additions, and PCR have improved 0.95 to 1.01, which is strong bullish. Participant positioning also, if you see, prop traders are neutral, clients bullish 12%, FIIs bearish 12%, and futures positioning, if you see, the retailers are 73% long, DIIs are 64% long, prop traders are 63% long. So retailers, DIIs, prop traders are all long, but FIIs are still 86% short side. So normally, this is something which I interpret like this only. If you are selling in equities, first you'll go short on futures and then you will sell there. So that could be the plan here, right? So retailers, prop traders, DIS are all bullish, FIIs are bearish, right? So these are the main things that we need to look at, and important breakout level is 23,800 and we'll be getting above that. And if possible, it could be moving towards 24,000 today. If 24,000 is closed and staying above that, then the next target is 24,300. Support, there is no need to discuss as of today, right? Because I don't think that it will come to the support level, which is 23,600. If it has to come, it has to be a negative news. Then that support is not going to be a support. It has to be a breakdown only further that. So Bank Nifty, the important level 54,400, 500 is the resistance. 53,600, 500 level will be the support. Okay. So option data maximum as of now is at 24,000. And if you look at put side, 23,500. So you see range have shifted from 23,000 to 23,500. So now the range that we are looking for, wider range, 23,500 to 24,500. Though 24,000 is where maximum call OI is there, they'll try to defend that level for tomorrow. But if something positive is coming, this may shift it to 24,300 also, because I can see good writing at 24,400, 24,300 level also. Put side, 23,500, 23,700, 23,600, all levels are there. 23,800 also there. That's a straddle people. So 23,500 to 24,000 could be a smaller range. But if there is any positivity is coming, 23,500 to 24,500 also, it can extend. So as a seller, you have to plan that range as well in your mind. So overall market sentiment is improving significantly. A lot of positives. Oil price below 100, Brent is below 100, very positive. Hormuz is reopening gradually, and 33 vessels have passed yesterday, very positive. So 60-day hope is there for ceasefire, and rupee stabilizing. One more thing that I missed is rupees around 95 from 97, rupees stabilizing. FIA is selling. If you look at weekly basis, it's reducing. But the negative, for the sake of saying, as of now, there is no final deal, but almost finalized. But Trump was taking U-turn. That's the issue. And nuclear stockpile issues still unresolved. Trump's mixed messaging. That's the main issue at this point of time, because market itself is getting confused. And if you look at derivative, FIIs is still heavily on short, 86%. That's something which we need to worry about. But FII selling is not a big issue now, as we can absorb the pressure. DIIs, domestic participants, retailers, mutual funds, all are absorbing the pressure. In fact, we are giving a very good exit to liquidity to the FIIs. So that's not going to get affected much. But market is currently driven by this hope of deal and the oil price movement. So finally, you have to focus on official US-Iran agreement that anyway will be reflected in one big candle. Brent is below 100, which is good. 23,800 breakout that anyway we'll be getting in the opening, and expiry related volatility, and keep a watch on Trump, headlines. So these are the things that I want to discuss. And if you would like to join our live market mentoring session, we have live market sessions every day where I trade and teach based on that. And you can watch that, you can learn from that. So I share the details in the description. Check out that and contact my team.